Hello there, welcome to our NodeJS Express API course. We will be learning the fundamentals of creating a REST API using NodeJS and Express. We will create simple library API that manages the CRUD operations for information about books, authors, readers, and book loans. The API will track the issue and return of books by a library and the basic information about readers, books, and authors. For this course, you should be well versed in the fundamentals of programming in JavaScript and Typescript and how to create a Node.js application. You should know about and use design patterns, example MVC and MVVM, etc. You should know about API design architectures like REST, SOAP, and so on. And you have Node.js installed on your PC and you know your way around it. Our primary code editor will be Visual Studio Code because we are going to be using Visual Studio Code extensions to test our API. We will be using MySQL for our database, so you should have a MySQL server installed locally and you know how to work with SQL and MySQL. So without further ado, let's pull up Visual Studio Code. To start off, I'll create a new project folder. I'll place it here. Folder. I'll name it Books API, and I'll select folder to open it up in Visual Studio Code. Alright, let's open a new terminal and we'll type in the command npm init y. That created a package.json folder for us, and this is the starting point, and all the information about your Node.js application is contained within this package.json file. Let's install the dev dependencies for our project. In this project we will be using Typescript, so we will type in the command npm install and -d to indicate that we are installing dev dependencies. We will install Typescript. We will install Prisma. We'll be using Prisma to access our database, and we will install some types for Node and the types for Express, and we will install NodeMon and TS Node. Alright, our dev dependencies have been installed. Let's now install our main dependencies. Let's clear our terminal. We will install two packages, npm install express and .env for environment variables. Next up, let's initialize Typescript inside our project. The command is npx tsc ---- init. That creates a tsconfig JSON file. There's one thing that we have to change here, and that is where our JavaScript files will be transpiled to, and we will search for out directory. There it is. This out directory. We will put all our compiled files in a dist folder, and that's basically our setup for our Typescript. Now let's create a folder for all our source code. We'll name it a source folder, and inside the source folder we'll first create an index.ts file. Let's create some scripts. I'll create a start script, and over here I'll say node, and our index.js file will be in the dist folder. I'll say dist index.js. And for our dev command, which we will use to run our development code, I'll say nodemon, because we have already installed nodemon. Inside the source folder is the index.ts file. I'll also do a build script, and for this one we'll just write TSC. That's just short for Typescript compile. And what this command will do, when we run it, it will transpile all our TypeScript code from our source folder into this folder. So now we have all our setup ready. Let's create our server. Let's import Express from Express, and let's import .env from .env, and I will run the .env folder here with the config. Now we'll create an instance of our server. We'll write const server is equal to express, and let's just create a listener for our server. Server.listen. Let's just put a port number here, maybe 3000, and we'll write a callback function and log something out into the console. Server API is running on port 3000. All right, let's try and run this using nodemon. npm run dev. We have already written the script. Nodemon is running properly, and this sentence here is being logged out into the console. Let's create a .env file. .env. Let's put a server port in here. Server port 8080. I'll put 8012 and save that. Let's go back to our index.js file and const server port is equal to process.env. We named our variable server port, maybe that, and we will substitute this port number for that variable, and we'll do it over here too. All right, so now let's run our server again. npm run dev. And now we see that our server is working properly as it should, using TypeScript. Let's just test out our other scripts, and let's try and build our code. Let's turn off our server again. Let's try out the build script. npm run build. Something's happening, and what happened was the TypeScript compiler created this folder and put the compiled version of this index.typescript file as index.js file. This is the same code, and there it is. And let's try running that code by running this script over here. npm start. We see that the code is working properly. Our port listener, our server listener is working properly and is logging out this code that we are logging here. So that's all for now. Basic initial setup for our server. I'll see you in the next video.